Some girls are born to be good daughters, good students, good wives, but not Belle. She's the kind of girl who looks at the rules and laughs before shattering them with a well-placed heel. Belle isn't trying to fit in, she's trying to survive in a world that wants to tame her fire and mold her into something soft, but she refuses to dim her light for anyone, not her controlling stepfather, not the whispering townspeople, and definitely not the masked devil, who suddenly crashes into her life with the kind of dangerous charm that tastes like revenge and kisses like sunset in the sultry southern town of Ashgrove. The story begins in the twisted ruins of Belle's fractured life. Her mother is dead, her stepfather is the town's corrupt sheriff, and the only thing keeping her from breaking completely is the iron will pulsing through her veins. Belle is beautiful, but she's not delicate. She's fierce, guarded, and always 10 steps ahead of the people trying to pull her down. Her mother's death was labeled an accident, but Belle knows better, and she's determined to find out the truth, even if it means digging through the graveyard of secrets. This town hides behind magnolia smiles and church bells. Enter the masked devil, known only as the Reaper, a man cloaked in mystery and vengeance, who has every reason to hate Belle's family. He's brutal, methodical, and brilliant, his face hidden, but his eyes haunted by a past that still burns beneath the surface. His path crosses with Belle's, not by accident but by fate, or perhaps by blood. As secrets unravel and ghosts come calling, Belle finds herself entangled in a game she never asked to play, one where the stakes are not just love and loyalty but life and death. Belle and the Reaper are enemies in every way that matters. She's the daughter of the man who ruined his life, and he's the shadow lurking at the edges of her world, reminding her that even pretty girls can be devils in disguise. But something unexpected happens in the quiet, between the chaos and the slow dance of suspicion and desire. They see each other for who they really are, two broken souls clawing for justice in a world that offers none. They hate each other, but they understand each other in ways no one else ever could, and that understanding becomes the spark that threatens to burn everything down. Ash Grove isn't just a setting, it's a character itself, a suffocating small town where nothing stays hidden for long. The whispers, the lies, the history written in blood, all come to the surface as Belle and the Reaper pull at the threads of a tapestry woven with betrayal and pain. What starts as a quest for truth becomes a spiral of revelations from hidden affairs, 2 stolen identities from sins of the past, 2 crimes of the present. Everyone has something to hide, and some are willing to kill to keep their secrets. Belle doesn't play the victim. She's a survivor, sharp-tongued and sharper-minded. She uses her beauty like armor, and her words like knives. She knows how to manipulate when she has to, but beneath her bravado is a deep well of hurt and fear and anger. She's been alone for too long, and the weight of grief and injustice is cracking the foundation she's built around her heart. Yet with the Reaper something shifts. She lets her guard down inch by inch, even when she knows he could be the end of her. The Reaper is more than just a masked vigilante. He's a man who has lost everything and built himself back with steel and rage. His mission is revenge. But Belle complicates that mission. She makes him feel things he buried with his past, and that makes her dangerous, not just to him, but to the fragile balance he's held onto for so long. He tells himself she's just a pawn, a means to an end, but she becomes so much more. She becomes the reason he starts to question his path, the reason he wants to believe in something other than vengeance. Together, Belle and the Reaper become a storm, a force that tears through the lies of Ashgrove and shakes the corrupt foundations of power. They push each other, challenge each other, expose the worst and best in each other. But love doesn't come easy when every kiss is laced with betrayal, and every truth uncovered brings more pain than peace. Belle discovers that her mother's death wasn't an accident, it was a murder, and the culprit may be closer than she ever imagined. Someone who wears a smile in daylight and bloodstained gloves at night. As the news tightens around them both, Belle is faced with impossible choices: protect the man she's falling for, or expose the truth and lose him forever. The Reaper must choose between the revenge that shaped him or the girl changed him, between justice and love, between rage and redemption. As the climax barrels forward, secrets explode, lives shatter, and Belle is no longer the hunted, but the hunter. Jaysea Lynn doesn't just write a romance, she writes a battle, a war, between light and darkness, between what is expected and what is necessary. Belle isn't a damsel in distress, and the Reaper isn't a prince. He's a monster trying to become a man, and she's a queen who doesn't need saving, but wants someone who sees her fire and doesn't flinch. This is not a love story for the faint of heart. This is a story for the fighters, the survivors, the ones who have been broken and still rise. The beauty of for whom the Belle tells lies in its contrasts, sweetness and cruelty, soft touches and sharp edges, danger and desire. It's a dark romance, yes, but it's also a coming-of-age tale, a story of reclamation of power and voice and truth. Belle grows not just into a heroine but into a legend, a girl who was meant to be silenced but chose instead to scream louder than the bells of Ashgrove. The end. The tolling bells are not just for the dead. They're for every lie exposed, every secret buried, every soul redeemed. They toll for Belle, for the Reaper, For every person who refused to be forgotten, and every truth that refused to be silenced, and as they ring through the ashes of a town forever changed, Belle walks away, not as a victim or a survivor, but as a reckoning. If you're looking for a story that blends danger with desire, vengeance with vulnerability, and fire with fate, For Whom the Bell Tolls will grip your heart, twist your soul, and leave you breathless long after the final page.